show if you're watching. Please bear with me for a few minutes. I'm in the middle of installing some software for a new webcam, so that way we can get our other point of view from the front angle. For right now, we got the old cam pointing down at the computer, as you can see in the top corner. And yeah, so software is in the middle of installing right now, and we'll be going with this shortly. You have to refresh the chat. There we go. Oh, this is not looking hopeful. My new webcam is supposed to be firmware updating, but it's stuck with the progress bar at 0. I'm feeling like this is just gonna end up bricked or something. Bricks itself out of the box. Not very pleased so far. Great, I can't even control it right now because it's like frozen like this. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Finally stopped. Firmware update failed. Firmware verification failed. Okay, I got it. No. Let's go. Oh, that's a handy feature. Alright, we'll just kind of figure this out as we go. AI tracking. Single tracking. Settings, the tracking area. Disable AI tracking mode. Continue. Doesn't track now. Okay. It's a bit confusing. Microphone. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit better. Lighting too bright. Huh. Alright, I gotta dim that a bit. There, hopefully that helps a bit. Not a whole lot. Tiny bit better, I guess. Okay. There, that's not as bad. I have to adjust the settings on the camera. Alright. Alright, there we go, that camera set. Now I just gotta add this other one to OBS Studio. Alright, that should be good enough for now. Okay, yeah, 1080 is fine. Let's see if we can add that. Okay, that didn't work. Great. Try this instead. Oh, there we go. Why is this one not working now? Get one working now, the other one doesn't want to work. Okay. There we go. Yeah, that's a lot better. Alright. There we go. All right. Okay, good. Chat's working. Everything is good. Kind of. Yes, okay. Just had to check. Alright, so chat's up. We got this camera. Alright, picture quality is looking a lot better. It's looking a lot worse on YouTube. Why? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So YouTube's only supporting 1080p 60 anyways. And what's Twitch? 1080p 60. What? I thought I was streaming out at 4K. Not 1080 60. Oh, must have changed as I changed stuff up through the restream. Okay. Yes, it did. Okay. I guess we're just doing 1080-60. Why is my other camera jumping in and out? What the heck? Seriously? Alright, that better not keep doing that. Get the paid version of an app and then it still causes you problems. Sheesh. Alright. Wow, the YouTube feed's like way behind. It's a lot of delay on YouTube. Interesting. Oh, and the picture quality is still worse. You just can't win sometimes. Oh well. Alright, so good news at least. Oh, wrong side. We got it off. So no more fitting stuck in there. It has been removed. The removal process, you'll have to wait for the other videos to come out to see that. I did record it, it's just not live streamed. In case you're wanting just to save you time, I ended up using these to get it off. Alright, so today I guess it's just going to be setting up the camera here for recording the footage and pulling apart some more of this custom water loop here. So let me grab some paper towels for that and we'll get started. Alright, got our paper towels. Just need to set up her camera and get working on her. There we go. Woo! Okay, now to figure out what I'm going to take apart next. Okay, so next for assembly. Okay, so the next thing we're going to remove will be the tubing here as well as the custom reservoir. No, it's not custom reservoir. Okay. Okay, now that we have the radiator removed, the next process will be removing the reservoir. Here, Lucky, hold that. You got it.
Alright, now that we have that disconnected, we will try to remove the lights. Alright, lights have been removed. Now for the last connection. Alright, lastly, you must remove zip tie. And this is where we discover we have a leak. Looks like my attempt, and this is where we discover we have a leak. It looks like my attempt to have restored or fixed this reservoir had failed, and it still managed to leak. This means that we will need a new reservoir, and it may be more time before we get this rebuilt. Luckily, it looks like it did not leak very much. Yeah, so that really sucks. Yeah, there. Ooh, it's not even on tight. Well, that's definitely not a good thing. Oh, now I'm gonna have to replan stuff for this loop here. Oh well. For today, let's just work on getting the rest of it taken apart. Here, Lucky, I'll take that tube now. Now, for the next step, we will be taking these parts out here so that we can get access to the other components. Okay, the next step in the process will be removing of the graphics card so that we can be able to remove the water block.
That wasn't good. Where's screwdriver? Yeah, I'm guessing that's nope. Alright.
For the next step, we will be removing the graphics card to remove the water block.
Yeah, that was a bit better.
Yeah. I'm realizing right now that getting that. Oh no, we can remove it from the top, okay.
I was worried I might have to get at the back area to remove the CPU, but I guess not. Oh yeah. This light here stuck. Oh, good. Managed to get that out. Okay.
The graphics card has been removed.
I'm now going to quickly take this to the kitchen and make sure it's empty. It was very much not empty. Now I'm going to go get some quick plugs to stick in it.
Now we will add these caps to make sure it does not leak and spill anywhere while we service it later.
Right, let's adjust the camera angle up there. There we go.
Now we will be removing the CPU water block. Now, when removing the CPU water block, it is very, very important to make sure to carefully untwist two sides at a time in similar increments, rotating one side then the other. This is to help keep balanced pressure on the CPU. That's annoying. Whoa. Yeah, duh. That was why we removed it, to get the liquid out, not to look at the thermal interface material. Yeah, that definitely had dried up, and it's looking like that was liquid metal. Yeah, that definitely needed reapplying a long while ago, I think. Whoops. I wonder how hard that's going to be to remove now. Alright, to the kitchen to go drain the water block. Okay, the water block has been removed. We will set it aside for now and clean the rest out later. The remaining thermal interface material will be left there for now until we can further clean that at a more appropriate time. If it were typical thermal paste, I would remove it now. If it were typical thermal compound interface, if it were typical thermal compound, I would remove it now. However, that is liquid metal, so it will require some more delicate addressing later. Do the this. Take off that radiator next, and then the pump maybe, and then get that one out. Alright. Next, we will remove the radiator at the back. Alright. The radiator has been removed. There's definitely liquid in there, but I will go dump that later. Get some caps in it just in case though. So dust isn't going in there. Alright. Next, we will remove
change the camera angle again.
Alright. Next, we will remove the pump. Here, Lucky, hold this down for me.
Cable is tucked in there so tight.
Shoot.
No. Where did that come from? That's it right here. Yes, it is.
Well, it looks like the cable is deeply buried in there, so we're going to set this aside for now after capping it off, and then we will have to finish removing it later after we got much other hardware removed.
I need to go get more caps. Hopefully I have enough.
Okay. That is it for the pump for now. Next, we will work on trying to remove the front radiator.
There it is.
Okay, in the next step, to remove this without everything pouring, to remove this for the next step, we will have to plug both of these ports. Okay. Now, at this point, we have realized we are in need. At this point, we have realized we are. Oh, that was stuck. At this point, we have realized we are going to need to remove the back panel, get at some of the other electronics we cannot reach from here to disconnect fans before being able to finish removing this. Okay, now that we've gotten to the back side of it, we found some fluid has leaked back here somehow. We'll have to figure out where that has come from. Ooh, it's leaked a bunch. There's liquid all over. Oh yeah, we definitely had some form of leak. I hope that wasn't what damaged the components and made things not working anymore. Not good. Alright, this is the Thermaltake controller that was used for the fans, which I modded to work with it, that aren't actually Thermaltake fans. They're a couple Alpha Cool fans that I replaced the LED strips in them with other LED strips. Okay, as you can see here, there was quite a lot of, as you can see from here, there was a lot of fans and lighting set up. More fans and lighting.
holidays. It's for those holidays. Wow. How's that come out?
Okay, now that we've removed the parts needed from the back, we can continue from this side to remove things like the pump. Oh, that wasn't the cable I thought. Back to the back. Okay, now that we've removed the cables needed from the back, we can remove the pump from the front. Looks like it's stuck on something still. Can't this just go smoothly? Because that wasn't even for that. Okay, I can't even see what the pump's connected to. Shit sakes. Okay, so much for that. Now that we've removed some of the cables from the back, we can continue with removing the radiator. First, we will remove these cables from the way. Now we will unscrew the fan from this side. This is where we realize we still have the temperature sensor connected, and that must be removed now. It looks like the temperature sensor is wrapped up with a lot of other cables, so we will now go forward with removing more and more cables. Hey, just one step at a time, taking.
I wish it were one step at a time. That was the plan, was to like take apart the custom water cooling parts first and then do the wiring and other motherboard stuff, but no, everything is just one intertwined mess. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to rebuilding this, to be honest. This is like such a tight, cramped build that is incredible I pulled this off in the first place, but gotta do what you gotta do. So now I think I have to go back to the other side and pull more wires out and probably cut some more zip ties. Oh yeah, and now we got that just loose. Great. Yep, more zip ties, of course. Might be good for the wire management, but it is a pain in the butt taking it apart. another one. Nope. Another zip tie. Yes, there we go. Whoa. Alright. Woohoo. Hey. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's GTX 970. And Intel Core i5 4690K delidded with liquid metal. However, it still seemed to be running well with Windows 10 and doing what I needed, and I mainly just use it to store all my files and do some secondary editing stuff. So. Not the pumps cable, maybe? No. Shit. Okay, it's alright. Looked like something got cut off. What did I wire? Oh my god. Okay, that is so... I don't know what I did. That's probably for the switch. Wow. There we go. There's the power cable. GPU cable. SATA cable. Yeah, I got this motherboard here. That's a C270, I think. Yeah, C270 gaming M7, and 16 gigabytes of DDR4 memory, and Intel Core i7 7700K processor. So the story is that I got the motherboard and the processor from an old friend of mine many years ago, and he passed away from a horrible car accident at least a few years ago. So I'm doing the whole video series dedicated in memory of him and putting the parts from him into the build. The little Lucky here, he was also a gift from him, so he's kind of hanging out while I do all this. So that's the deal with that. So yeah, the motherboard here wasn't booting up anymore. I'm not sure why. I'm hoping it's not in regards to the leak that I found, and if it is, hopefully it's not fried or something can be done, salvage it, but otherwise still sticking in new motherboard and processor anyways. So thank you. Yeah, so and then now I gotta figure out what to do in regards with this reservoir, because I don't want to risk that leaking again. I got a spare one in here, but if I use that other spare one, well, it's not a spare one, it was going to be used for the build that you can see in the top left corner right here. I still need to put a whole custom water loop in that. I got a whole box full of, or a bin full of parts underneath the table for that. I might sacrifice the 240 radiator. So what I was going to do was I was going to have a 240 in the bottom, 120 here, 360 on the top, and 360 in the vertical there. So, but what I might do for now then is just go with two 360s and a 120, and then maybe just give up on the bottom one, because that was going to be a lot of extra work. I was going to have to mod some extra new legs to put on to rise it up more, and then put some holes in the bottom of it to put a radiator in there and all that. So I thought maybe I'll just spare myself all the extra work. I figure two 360s and a 120 is still good enough for a GTX or RTX 3080 Ti, M.2 water block, and 9900 or 9900 X3D. So figured should hopefully be good. Then I could use the 240 radiator to replace the shitty aluminum one here that caused some corrosion problems, and then I could just clean up this stuff that got corroded and put some new O-rings. Hopefully I should be good, and then use the reservoir that was in there, if I can manage to get it to work in place where this one was, and then maybe just get a new distro plate or something for this build to figure out if there's something I can do to fit that in there. I'm not sure. Oh, I don't know. I've gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my custom water loop for that other build at this point, and then just use parts or whatever to get this one going first. So yeah. Alright, let's get this fan out of here. Yeah, long story short with this, I should have serviced this like probably half a year ago, and I just got caught up with things and didn't do it. So the coolant started getting pretty low on it too, so I knew this needed to get done sooner than later. And then it just stopped working, so I gotta do it regardless now. So it is what it is. Mistakes I made, I knew I shouldn't have made, I did anyways, and now I'm regretting it. And lesson learned, I will never be bothering to deal with mixing metals again in the future. Forget that. Or at least like mixing aluminum and copper and stuff. No aluminum, just no aluminum anymore. Alright, I'm afraid to even put it back down on its side now because there's like too many wires in the way. I think that's all the water cooling parts. Yeah. Well, I mean, this tube's not counted because that was just a support. Yeah, alright, I guess that's it. We got 23 minutes left on the stream. But I finished everything that was for this episode of the stream. Alright. Filming stuff.
Now, all the parts have been removed that had to do with water cooling. Catch us next on.
Alright. Just don't add that in. Change camera angle first.
Alright, now that all the parts have been removed that had to do with water cooling, we have concluded this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode where we will finish removing the rest of the parts.
Okay, what else did I need to do?
Stay tuned at the end of the episode for some awesome photos of some builds from Jason Pierce, aka Spartan Mods, as well as some bloopers from this episode.
Okay. Alright. I think that closes off that now. So what I'm going to do is at the end of each episode in this series, I'm going to include some photos of Jason's custom water cooling builds and different custom modding and stuff that he'd done over the years. And also take some bloopers and things from the filming as well as the live streams, and then throw those in at the end of the episodes. So, alright, yay. So, some giant idiot. Yeah, so, do you have any suggestions or know the best way to remove liquid metal that is dried up and been there for a while? Because I'm going to have to look that up after. Great. I've heard of how to remove it when it's not dried up, but... and even then, apparently, it's not very fun or easy, so I'm not looking forward to this part. I hope that comes off easy enough. CPU is one thing, so I don't know if I'll be using that anytime soon, but I still need the water block, so... Oop, there we go. This is the mess I'm going to have to deal with. It's all dried up liquid metal. Fun. Alright, what do we got? 20 minutes left. Okay. Take too long to transfer data over. I can show some parts that I've taken out. So this is the memory that was in there. We had 16 gigabytes, 2,400 megahertz HyperX beast. And then what I did is I added these little strips from the zip tie, like little strips of zip tie, some 2-way adhesive, and then that way they're UV reactive, so then it lit up and stuff with UV, of which we had 1, 2, 3, I guess. Lost count as I was taking them out, but yeah, so there's at least a few UV LED strips. Oh, 4. Okay, yeah. I thought there was. Wow. So where's the fourth one? 1. Ah, no, that's not it. Wait, yeah, okay, there's another one behind that one. So, got 4 UV LED strips in here. Wait, oh my god, I just called CCFLs LED strips. Yeah, no. 4 CCFL UV lights because they work better than LEDs to some extent, but then I also had some UV LEDs to help brighten up certain spots on purpose. Like this here, and they were like fixed in at different angles to purposely shine on the graphics card and stuff like that. Here's the graphics card. Ah, razor blade, good idea. We'll try that maybe. So this was a back plate from V1 Tech. Way back when they used to mainly do backplates and GPU cable or power extension cables and stuff. So I got Hassan to make that for me years ago. And then the water block was given to me as a gift from Mark Malella. And that was a Thermaltake GTX 970 block. It's cool as it's got the old Thermaltake logo, which actually matches the Thermaltake logo for the front panel of this old style case, so it's kind of neat. And you don't see these in builds every day. That's the thickest monster radiator from Alpha Cool for a 120. So saw that on the site one day and I was looking at this old case. I was like, hey, that would be neat just for the fun of it to like rip this apart and somehow actually get a working water loop in this thing to cool at least a GPU and a processor. So that was the whole challenge with it. I was like, how could I manage that? And then I thought about the whole front area here, how much space there was, and so I stuck in the monster at the front there, and then the extra 120 on the back, and then just ran the tubes through in like that, and then 120 on the top as well, and then I had to make some holes here for the ports. So then I had to try to figure out where to fit the pump in, and mounted that over here, and then there was like no room for the radiator, so I ended up putting this other back plate that I custom made myself years ago with UV yellow and black, and then I put that in here and used a GPU stand thing to support stand, as well as this tube here to help keep that held up, and it just kind of wedged in place there. It wasn't like overly secure. And then we had the cooler on it there like that, or like that, so yeah. And then I put in all this paneling stuff here, some stripping, more paneling stuff on the graphics card, and then this was the front panel. So I ended up taking some screen. It doesn't look the best, which I was really disappointed and couldn't figure out a whole lot of other solutions. So wait, I hope that was just something fuzzy, not a bug. That was gross. Thought about it, didn't think about it, just did it. Yeah, so then I took some screen from like screen door and glued that in here so that way I had better airflow. And then at the front, I put in some USB 3.0 ports, so I had some front USB 3.0, so I had a couple of USB 2s, a couple of USB 3s, shitload of audio, and then I added in this switch here for the UV CCFL tubes, so I can turn them off or on with the button on the front of the case. And then the fans, I had taken, yeah, okay, gotta remember which fans are which. Nope, that's not the right fans. That's an empty fan. The other good fan. Okay, there it is. So I took some LED strips from some other fans that I had, and then I took these apart and stuck them in here, and then wired it up to a universal port of one of these type here, and then figured out the pinouts on the Thermaltake controller for the LEDs, for the RGB LED lighting or ARGB lighting, and then came out with my own custom plug-in, so that way I can use the Thermaltake controller to control the lighting for the front two fans. And then the rest of the fans, I just took all the lighting strips out of it because it was already a ton of wiring, figuring out all the wiring for this. So I just left them like planning for it to have no effect, but then the plastic type that it is actually lit up from the UV lighting, and then it was like a UV reactive lighting for all the inside fans. So that was like an added cool bonus. I was like, nice. Didn't intend for it, and then just kind of turned out that way. One of the annoying parts though was that all the tubing is UV reactive, so it would light up with the tubing being UV reactive and give the glow from the tubing well before you could see the liquid actually lighting up inside of it proper. So all the tubing had more of its own kind of glow, and then any of the liquid had its own different color inside of the reservoir and the pump, because they're the only, oh, and the water block, because those were the only areas you could see that weren't the tubing for the liquid. So then it looked different in those areas than it did throughout the tubes. It wasn't ideal, but whatever, it worked, and it looked okay. I got some photos and videos somewhere else on my computer that I gotta go through and find those to upload and add in with some footage and stuff for when I put the videos together for all this. So fortunately, I think all those files or things might be somewhere within these drives here. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, that's the other annoying thing, is that I got a lot of files that I need for working on the websites and other shit that's all like within these hard drives. So I might for now have to try to figure out what drives to use and then just plug them into my other system to get up those files in the meantime. But hopefully we can get this all, or I can get this all cleaned up sooner than later and taken apart and all put back together and it running well. I hope it runs well. Yeah, now one thing I'm kind of concerned about or wondering is what the hell happened with that leak and where did that liquid come from? 'Cause I'm not seeing like any other signs of a leak in here. I wonder if it's just some liquid that fell out from a tube when I was taking it off or something. Yeah, it was right here. See anything on the board. Where is that even going to? That's crazy. Must have really tucked those away. Okay. I had some ports for eSATA to connect one of the drives in here if I wanted to. I think 1 or 2 drives up to my other main computer because I used to have this one like sitting right underneath the other computer. But as of late, I didn't need to use them. And then I got this other extension up here because I have another drive that would connect and sit up here. So I have like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hard drives plugged into this thing at once. So, and then I also still have another drive in the back of my other system. The fan connections were something on this. Pretty much all of these were filled almost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. So what I did is a bunch of these were being used for the UV LEDs that are 12 volt UV LEDs, and that's why I needed so many extras. So and especially because the other fans that use the lighting on the Thermaltake, it didn't use the fan part for the Thermaltake controller. This I should actually probably go set aside somewhere and be careful with, knowing how RAM is right now. It might only be DDR3, but who knows when that'll cost a ton as well. Or maybe already does. Alright, we got like 5 minutes left on the stream here. This is the pump, and that has still run well. I'm surprised, and surprised on how well it's run actually over the years, because this was just like a cheap maybe $30 pump or something on AliExpress years ago. So, and everyone was like always telling me that I shouldn't use it and things, but still used it and it still run great. So better than this has served me. So yeah. Alright, lots more to take out of that later. set it down decent for now. Be careful with all those hard drives. Woo! That was a close one. Alright. Try to clear up space. Oh, I put a grill on the back, so I don't end up like putting your finger in there. So that's never fun. And if you didn't catch last episode, probably like a quarter or half the episode, last episode was trying to get this out of this radiator down here. Because it was corroded in there so tight. It was a hell of a time. I still never even got it by the end of the stream, and ended up having to do this in a separate video. So a guy here helped me, and we just reefed that and twisted it around, and eventually it came off, and we'll see that in the video when the video comes out. So otherwise, I think that about concludes things for tonight's stream. Hopefully the cameras were a lot better. We fixed things with this camera up here, so we got a lot better picture quality now. This camera, yeah. And now we also have much better front-facing camera with autofocus and, oh yeah, gesture control. Yep, check this out. Ooh, you can follow me around and stuff too. Oh wait, I think I just turned off gesture control. There we go. Yeah. So I got one of these like AI tracking cams. So that'll be cool. That way I can set things up to track from stuff over here. Oh yeah, okay. So I could do that, and then it's already stuck for this area and doesn't move. Okay, that'll come in handy. And then we go like that, and then if I need to move over here because I'm recording something else like video stuff where I got the camera set up, and then like I'm over there on camera. Alright, I think we stopped our video and better check to make sure I recorded that last segment right. Yes. Yes, I did. Okay. Oh, yeah, it was like following me around there. Crazy. Alright. So, yeah. So, that concludes it. We got some studio upgrades, better cameras, and we got all the water cooling taken out. So, thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching the stream. And we'll be back on Thursday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., taking out the rest of the parts from this. So, catch you then. And thanks for dropping in to watch this. Check YouTube for the videos from the last couple streams if you want to see what has been going on prior to this. And I'm working on putting together stuff for the introduction to the series video. Hopefully drop that next Tuesday, and then maybe episode 1 as well. We'll see. So alright, thanks for tuning in, and have a thanks for tubing in, and have a great couple days, and hopefully see you on Thursday.